introduction. All right, so it's been a pretty bad winter, but I think we're about to get out of it. I was looking forward to continuing to make videos throughout the winter because the past 8, 9, 10 years or so here in Ohio, our winters have been pretty mild. But this winter was a different story. Starting in October, early November, we've had lots of cold weather, lots of snow, lots of rain, lots of floods. High winds. It just hasn't seemed to stop. And here we are, early March, and looks like this is the week. It's a few days ago we had snow, cold weather, high winds, and looks like this week we're going to get up into the 60s and 70s maybe. Saw one day later this week we might even get a push to close to 80, which is pretty welcoming. Winter definitely has taken a toll. But I've got some mods I want to do to the van, some things I've been kicking around. I guess that's one good thing about winters. You kind of have, time, if not too much time, to think about things you want to do. But I want to do kind of a renovation on my inside setup. I want to kind of build some platforms so I have more storage space. So what I'm really looking to do is build some platforms above where I sleep. That way I could put my backpack, clothing, whatever, up off the bed. In the past, I've just kept it in a backpack, and then when it was time to sleep, I would just throw the backpack on the front seats. Not a big deal. Still not that big a deal, but just trying to be a little more permanent, I think, in what I'm trying to do. I've got 2 months left in my teaching career. Then I'm going to retire and hopefully, spend summer and fall here in Ohio. Travel around the East Coast. But then when winter comes, I'd like to head out west and find sunshine. That's my goal anyway. So, want to make the van a little more comfortable for extended stays. Also, I'm going to do some upgrading on my solar panel installation on top. Currently, I've got two 100-watt panels, which work pretty well when you combine them and then feed them into one power station. Last time I took a trip out west, I ran two power stations, and 100 watts in each power station wasn't enough. So I'm going to try to upgrade to put two 200-watt panels on top of the van. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm actually going to I wanted to get started today. I guess our winter threw one more fit at us this weekend. So we had a bit of a rainstorm the other night, and this rainstorm had some kind of secret dust in it, and it just got everything filthy. I don't mind the van being dirty, but when I'm ever getting ready to start a new project, I at least want to start off with a relatively clean slate. I just watched I'd washed the snow and salt residue off of it the other day, thinking I'd be ready to go. But I'm going to go ahead and clean it up today before I get started, and just kind of lay out try to figure out how my solar panels will fit on the roof, and then I'll get started on installation. So here we go. All right, so got the van cleaned up a little bit, and go ahead and play around with my new solar panel configuration. Before I get started, show you here. This is a 200-watt panel. So currently I have two 100-watt panels on top. You can see here, that's in the sun. And as I mentioned a few minutes ago, I'm trying to determine the best way to upgrade to a full 400 watts total via two 200-watt panels if I can. I also purchased this flexible 200-watt solar panel. So I'm going to play around here. And see what the best configuration is. It might be both 200-watt panels on top, or it might be I might stick with both 200-watt panels and then add, one of the 200-watt panels. Just from some basic measurements right now, without too much change, I can probably, most likely, end up moving these two 100-watt panels slide them a little further to the rear. I've got this wasted space right here, so I can slide them back. And then my plan then would be to got some really strong tape and may be able to tape this down. I've seen this done in a few builds on YouTube, so I think that might be the way to go. If I don't like the taping option, then the third option would be to add another rail forward on this to mount the 200 watt panel. However, I'm just looking at that, like if I did that, it's going to kind of drift upwards, and that would catch a whole lot of wind going down the road for sure. So I'm leaning, hoping anyway, that I can get this thing in a good enough spot that I could tape it down. And anyway, we'll play around and find out. Well, it felt really good to be outside today. By far the nicest day we've had for months and months. Probably in the 60s. Man, it's nice. I did get one of my projects done. I was able to, I got another panel mounted on top. You can see here, this one's quite a bit longer, bigger. It's a 200 watt panel combined with the 100 watt panel. So that'll give me the option of running a 200 watt panel into one of my power stations, and then I can run a single 100 into a second power station, or I tried it on the smaller one. I connected both together. So I had two panels for a total of 300 watts plugged into my Bluetti power station, and it was wasn't pulling 300 watts. It was pulling about 180 watts. Sun's still at a kind of a wintertime angle, I suppose. It's not straight overhead, so not going to be peak efficiency, but I was going to mount the flexible solar panel up here. I've got some high strength tape, but when I put it on here, the length of the flexible panel, put it back underneath this crossbar, not a whole lot, just about 3 inches back here. And that absolutely killed the power rating. I tried the flexible power, the flexible solar panel, just sitting up at a good angle toward the sun, and it pulled in 177 watts, which I was pretty impressed with. When I put it on top of the van, just kind of mocking it up, it was only pulling about 70 watts. And I don't think it's going to get a lot better. I slid it forward just a little bit. So I slid the panel forward so it wasn't underneath the crossbar right here, but that put it down over the windshield. But when I pulled it forward, it jumped up to about 120 watts. So just obstructing the solar panel, a couple inches really reduced the power output. So the flexible solar panel is a no-go for now. But I also have a Jackery. When I bought my first Jackery as a kit, it came with a foldable external 100 watt panel. So in theory, I suppose I could run the 200 into one, and then I could run the smaller 100 and the Jackery panel into another unit. So I would then in theory have two 200 watt systems, but we'll see when camping season starts, which isn't too far away, I think. So anyway, that's kind of the first project done. Like I said, it just felt really, really good to be outside in the sun, kind of working. Man, forget how much you miss it when you're cooped up all winter. So my next project, I was hoping to start it pretty soon as well. I'm going to in the past, like when we camp, our heads were toward the tailgate, the lift gate, and our feet were toward the front of the van. And I'm going to mock it up, and I'm thinking about switching it up so our heads will be here, then our feet will be in the back, and then I want to build a kind of another shelf for storage. It kind of wraps around. Not full length, but I'm thinking if I can cover the feet and then maybe bring it forward till I get up to about right here at the back of the door, I can probably open it up quite a bit more storage. But anyway, it's just kind of speculation. We'll see how that goes. But anyway, if you watch this, appreciate it, and see you in the next video. Bye-bye.